Today we are going to discuss about of the one of the tool which is used to make a user defines. So what exactly do the user define? What exactly by the user define? That's what we are going to discuss about of. Maybe if the client is asking about of the one report, that is the report which we are calling as an user exist report. Under that user existing report, what the client is asking that I need a report by vendor from and to. That means the client is asking one report. I need a data from vendor from and to, or else order number from up to. That means I need to make a report either by the vendor wise or by the order wise. That means what exactly the client is requiring here is the client is asking about of a report, and the report has to be with the selection fields of either by the vendor or by the purchase order wise. That means the client is asking here the report has to becomes like this: vendor number, vendor name, order number, order date, order items, and as well as order wise materials, and as well as order wise value, net value. This is what the client is asking. That means the client requiring one report, and that report should be with the fields of these. So that's what exactly by the client requirement. Now, what will be happens here is all the vendor details has been came from the back end of one data, but the vendor wise orders has been came from the another data, as like as the vendor wise order wise items should be in the another data. Now, what exactly the client is asking that they want to maintain the details, they want to maintain one report, but under the report, they want to make all these fields. They want to make all these fields into one reporting. In this situation, what we have to do? That was the most thing which we have to done here. That means here we are using to club a multiple of data into one single report. A multiple of data into one single report. For that, here we are using the tool which is called as an LDB. What itself it is? Logical database. What exactly it was? Logical database. So, in this logical database, what we need to do? In the sense of, we need to club in together a multiple of databases. That means we need to make the combination of multiple of the database tables into one LDB. That's what exactly my requirement. That means one executable type of the report which I am required. For making of creation of this LDB, we are using the transaction code of SC36. See, whatever I am explaining from the past of the days, from the past of the 3 or 4 classes, these are all the things which is related especially for the project. Why? Because you people already having some knowledge on the MM. That's why I am making all the project classes, oriented classes here. Here now I am going for here for making opening multiple of database tables has to be clubbed in together in together in a one single report. So for that, here we are going to make it as an LDB logical database. So now here I am going to make it as, here I am going to go for this one. Let me check it out. First of all, login. Let's make the logon. Login. 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 And here my user ID will be there. My password is there. And from here I am starting with my work. Now I am going to the SE36. I am going to the SE36. And what would be the LDB name? Let's take the something ZKP1. ZKP1 and ZKP1 and make it create ZKP1 and make it create. And what it was, instead of the something purchases, here I am taking, sorry, instead of the purchases, here I am taking as an sales. Say for example, you just take as an customer wise orders. Here I am taking as an customer wise order report. Customer wise order report. Done and enter. Now from here, what is the first node? That means what was the root node name you have to give here. So which I am giving here as an KNA1. That is nothing but like a table name. And what it was, which I am giving here as an customer data. And what it was, which I am giving the table name itself as an KNA1 and create. Now again right click on this one, insert node. There I am mentioning the VBAK, the second one, orders data. And this has to become shown as the table of VBAK. Done. And again I am going to click on another one, VBAP. And in generally all these database tables and everything can be supported by the ABAPers. They will give the records of yours, and being as a functional consultant we need to make it all these things. Now this is enough. That means I have got the older nodes. Now go for the selection. Here the selections as which we were discussing before, either by the vendor number wise or by the order number wise. That means I need a report either by through the vendor number wise or by through the order number wise. That means I can take the values. That means the client is asking to get their values either by the vendor number wise or by the purchase order number wise. Now here it is asking that do you want to change the structure whatever it has been created, do you want to save it? Yes, I want to save it. That means when you click this as, it will be take some time, and After saving of this one, then what we have to do? Basically, everyone is thinking that it can be done by the abapers, but in generally, this was not done by through the abapers. It will be done by through the ABAP with functional consultant. That was the main thing. ZKP1 and change it. Here the selections. Okay, it was going to done. In the backend it was running. Yeah, it was running. It will take a couple of minutes. Why? Because it has to be collect the data from the backend into the output screen. Backend into the output screen will take a couple of minutes here. After that, we have to go for the source code. When we are entering onto the source code also, it will not by the abapers. Why? Because the source code, the system itself automatically giving for us. We need not to depends upon the abapers here. That's why it is called as a user defined. Now if you can observe here, it asks should the selections of the logical database be available in the structure? Yes. Here there was a two types will became here. Now select the free selection, transfer. Now select the free selections and transfer. See, everything, the code has been generated itself. We need not write again. Just remove the star mark and remove the question mark. And what the client is asking, vendor or customer. Okay, let's take the customer. And here also, put the order. Done. And now make it activate. Make it activate. Done. And after that, go for the selection. Activate, save it, and come back. Go for the source code. Go for the source code. Yes. Yes. Now it will automatically generate the code here. Done. Just remove the star marks. This one also. And as well as this one also. Done. And put the full stop here. That's why it will be called as a tool. It was not a program. Save it. And come back. Again the second one. Open it. Make it full stop. And remove the star marks for these. Activate it. Save it. And come back. And let the third one. Remove this. Remove this. Make it in. And remove this also. Activate it. Save. Done. That means it was completed. That means we have clubbed in together a multiple of the table records into one execute. Now, see, this was not directly executable. Why? Because maybe in every company there was a multiple of the users will be there. What the client is asking now is, I am having the MM users. There was a team of the MM team. Under the team, I can have the 5 members of the users of the MM users. If the MM user 1 has been calling the data, they can get only in the output of these fields. If the user is in the MM user group of the user 2, they can have only these of the fields. This also comes with the all the securities for each and every user's files. Now let us see. This was created with the JDKP1, and the next, I'm going to another one. Then it was done. Back, come back. Now, as per the client requirement, what they are asking that they want to maintain the data into the different fields for different people. That's why, first of all, we need to create the user group. Step number one, creation of a user group. That was comes with the SQ03. Let's see. Go for SQ03. SQ03. Enter. When you are going to the SQ03, it is asking about what will be the user group which you want to maintain. Which name you want to maintain as a user group. ZMMUSG. ZMM user group. And go for create. What it was, which I am saying that it was a material management user group. Done. This was a one user group. And the next thing, in this user group, then there the users have been calling the data of that LDB, which records has to be. That means which we need to create the second step as a set of information. Create an info set. SQ02. 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 Under the SQ02, we need to create a set of information which the client requires. Now here, what is the info set name? Which I am maintaining as an ZMMINF. Created. Under this ZMMINF, what do you want? What do you want? I want to maintain the material details of sales orders, and this has to become for ZMMUSG with the logical database of ZKP1. Okay, done. See, whatever we are taking as, these are the nodes and these are the tables which we are having already. Select this and open this. There. From here I want the customer number and the customer country and the customer name and something. This is enough for me. For the orders, I am in required from the orders the document number and the document date and as well as the order value and something whatever. Order value. And the next, in the item, this was the main for us. Which materials has been sent to the customers. which materials are being generated by the customers. There, what is the material numbers and what is the material batch number and the material group. This is enough for me. And after that, click on the generate button. Done. Save it. Back. Yes. See, that was generated. And now come back. The user group is there, and as well as under that user group, whatever they require, the user field also will be there. Now, we need to make the assignment of the user group to this info set and also the users. That means in the next step, assign user group assign user group to user to info set. Again, this is for SQ03. SQ03. Let's go for the SQ03. And for this user group, I need to assign the user and info set. Under this user group, for the user of this user, this is my user ID. Which info set has to be added? Which info set has to be added? Under this user group, for this user, under this user group, for this user, I need to add the info set of the info set of what's the info set which we have created? ZMMINF. This info set. And then make it save. That means under that user group, for that users, I need to add for this user for this report. User for this report. And after adding of this one, even if the client is asking to assign the same info set for a multiple of user groups, not for the one, for another user group also, then what we have to do? That means, which we have to check it out for the fourth step, assign other user group to info set to other user group. Again, we have to go for the SQ02. Let's go for the SQ02 again.
Hello.
SQ02.
Hello.
Go for SQ02. And then.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me. Manu. Hello. Hello.
Actually, your voice is breaking, sir. Actually, our session was breaking.
The session was completely breaking. No? Hello. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Prashant. Are you able to hear? Is it clear or not? My voice is.
I'm able to hear, but I think
Yeah, he's went to the offline actually.
Manu has gone offline, sir.
Yeah. What? No. So if I want to add the same info set for a multiple of the user groups, what we have to do? Then what we have to do here is this info set, role and user group assignment. See, this info set has been already assigned to one user group, and even I want to use the another user group also. We can add for multiple of the user groups. That means one report for working of one report, and for making of the one thing, it can be assigned for the multiple of the user groups, even if you want. Otherwise, even if the client is asking about of one user group, that is enough for me. Just make it same. Come back. Just come back. Now, at last, we have to go for the design and run the output. Design and run the output. It was an SQ01. SQ01. Let's see here, SQ01, right? And for which user group you are going to create? I want to create it for the user group of ZMMUSG. Here, I want to create this for ZMMUSG. And what is the query you want? ZQRY, ZMMQRY, infoset query, for this infoset, for this user group, for this infoset, for this user group, for this infoset, for this user group. I want the selection fields of, here, selection fields of customer and as well as orders. And I want to make it in the output number, I want the number and name, number, name, and as well as from the orders, order number, order date, and as well as in the items, material number, material batch, material group, and as well as the order value, and now make it, save it, done. You come back. And the make execute of this one, being an user of ABAP 17, select it. Now it asks me about the customer. Let's take it from 1000 to 1100 and as well as now, what will happen is whenever the user about 17, that means my user ID has been entered, I can access the data of all these things. That means no other user can access the data from here. That means what exactly the client is asking that when I'm having the multiple of the data into the multiple of the database tables, whenever we are having the multiple of the data in the multiple of the database tables, what we have to do here, we need to make the combination of those of the tables into one single report by the user. Why? One single report by the user. Why? First of all, we can club all the data tables into one LDB, and that LDB who wants to access. First of all, we can create the one user group, and as well as next step we have to create the one info set, and the third step we have to create the assign user group to info set and as well as the user, and at last we need to assign that user group, user, and as well as the assign info set, and at last we have run the query of the design and layout. So this is what we can call as an LDB and as well as the queries. In general, we are calling this as an user access.